Hey guys, what's up? This week we took a special trip to the UP to run the SCX6 and get some super cool footage. So, first stop was Akiak Falls, which is the only recognized waterfall in the Lower Peninsula. It's up near Sheboygan, Rogers City, that area, just before the bridge. So that was our first stop just because it's still in the lower part of Michigan. So super cool. And then we wandered on up to all the way up to Marquette, actually, and got a ton of great footage. I mean, if you've never been to Marquette, it is definitely worth the drive. For us, it was about 7 hours from my house, but it's worth every hour, every minute, every second. That place is super, super fun. The black rocks there that are, I think that they say are like old volcanic ash that is formed into rock. I don't know if that's the most accurate. I'm pretty sure that that's something I read somewhere. But you can also cliff dive into Lake Superior off of these. And there was actually people there that were cliff diving. And it was pretty cool. The water looked super cold, so I wasn't going in it. That's definitely not something my body is built for, is cliff diving. But enough about that stuff. Let's talk about the SCX6. It's super cool. I mean, look at this thing. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. Just look at it. So, while in Akiak Falls, if you've never been there, it's another place I highly recommend checking out. Great for crawlers, or if you just want to check out the scenery. It's a great view. The falls are really close to the parking lot, so it's not a long walk. One of the other stops was actually Tequamanon that we went on, and it was a bit of a hike to get to the fall, to actually see the falls. But Akiak, you can go right up to the falls. You can walk in the water. You can go right up to the falls. So we decided we were going to just drive the truck pretty much in the falls. We didn't drive it actually down the falls, obviously. But we did drive it like in the river that was right there. It was shallow enough. We could kind of splash around and kick up some water, made for some cool shots. The truck is water resistant, very similar or the same as the other SCX6. The Honcho actually has a smaller body, slightly smaller anyway, as far as the width and the length. So you have a lot more tire clearance to get up onto obstacles. The bumpers are much closer to the body, and that allows the truck to get into tighter spots. So that is super helpful. The cab comes in two different colors, red or beige. The rear cage is killer. I mean, they did a great job with it. It has a functional spare tire. It has recovery ramps, which you can actually take off and use. And then once you take the recovery ramps off, there's actually a little storage box underneath it that is big enough you could throw in an extra battery if you wanted. You could throw in some extra tools. It's pretty deep for what it is. It's kind of a cool little feature that we didn't really utilize, unfortunately. But it is a very cool little added feature that would be great out on the trails. It does feature plenty of lights. It's got headlights in the light buckets, which the headlight buckets look killer. They look great. It also has lights in the bumper, as well as light pods on the hood, and they're all extremely bright. I don't recommend driving towards yourself because you will be blinded. It has happened. So then, after running in Akiak, and we took our trip, and we went up to Marquette. We ran in Presque Isle Park on the Black Rocks, and this park is, those Black Rocks is amazing for crawling. It is absolutely phenomenal for crawling in Michigan. The traction is super high, which is great. However, this truck weighs almost 40 pounds. It does have a strong servo. The servo puts out 537 ounces of torque. It's the standard 5th scale, 6th scale servo, the Spectrum S905, which is really plenty of torque if you're going out trailing and just kind of running on loose stuff like loose dirt and things like that. But on this high traction rock, I'd imagine it same would go for if you're in California or Colorado, anywhere, Utah, anywhere that's got this high traction rock. This servo did not do so great. There was a few V notches and cracks and holes and things that I was really trying to be precise with, and those rocks were just gripping those tires and not letting them turn. So it's nothing against the servo. It's nothing against the truck. The servo is still pretty good for a ready to run. I mean, it's a ready to run at the end of the day. The servos they're good enough to get you going. There's plenty of upgrade options out there. So you can go with one of those. Or again, if you're just running it in the dirt, if you're just running it in the grass, it works fine. It does still have the 2-speed trans, just like the other SCX6 that uses the Spectrum S614, which is their standard 10-scale servo. It does its job for the 2-speed, and it does its job. That's all I got to say. The motor, it's 1200 kV motor. It is censored with the Spectrum censored Firma 120 amp ESC, so it is a fully censored Spectrum system, which being censored makes it super smooth. I believe they say that it has the FOC technology in it, which is extremely helpful and makes it extremely smooth. So I think that the overall power of this vehicle is plenty to get over the rocks. The tires are different than the ones on the Jeep. They are a licensed Falcon, a Wild Peak. They stand at 7 inches tall. These things are massive, and it's really cool that they are a different tire. It's a different option. There's not too many options out there right now for those trucks. So they do incredibly well. I was very impressed with how well they did, both on the rocks, in the dirt. I mean, the side lugs really grabbed. It's an MT tire, so it's a mud terrain tire, which means that it's basically just more aggressive than what's on the Jeep. And I think it's very fitting for what it is. Just like the other SCX6, it does have a replica V8 engine underneath there that covers up the motor well, and it looks great once you take the body off. And speaking of bodies, this body comes off way easier. Only 2 pins, boop, you pull those things, and the body actually hinges and flips up. So it is super easy, super convenient. I know with the Jeep, at least this is the way I did it. I normally flip the truck actually over onto its roof made it easier just to get to the body pins. This one, you just stand it up on the back, pull the 2 pins, and you're good to go. And honestly, this thing, I think, outperformed my Jeep. And I mean, my Jeep is still stock, but I wish I would have waited for this thing, because with how compact that body is and the way that the bumpers are tucked in, the way that the cage is on the back, the approach angles and the departure angles are significantly better than the Jeep. And I really, truly wish that I would have waited to purchase this over the Jeep. But I gotta admit, it's going to be hard to not add this thing to the fleet, just because, yeah, it's another SCX6, but it way outperformed the Jeep, in my opinion. And that is worth it alone. So the truck, it's not licensed. It is just normal, the Axial Honcho body. So it's not a licensed body, but you get a ton of cool features with it. There is no battery or charger. You got to buy that separate. But again, with all these features, the price is still the same as the Jeep, which is $1,099.99. So $1,100. It really isn't bad for what it is. You know, yeah, it's a lot, but it is totally worth every penny. These things are a ton of fun. I can't say enough about how much fun these are. Honestly, you have to rethink where you drive them, because it adds such a challenge to these vehicles, just because of the sheer size. And I mean, like I said, look at this thing. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. So, you know, check it out. Get on our website, nankinhobby.com. Pre-order it. Don't pre-order it. Buy it, because it's already available. And if you haven't been checking out our site, our YouTube videos, our YouTube channel, we're getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers, which is killer. So, I'll tell you what, guys. If we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll take a trip back to the UP and we'll launch a truck off a cliff just for you guys. And you know what? We're not going to stop there. We'll give away a 4S Outcast, just because we like you guys. We appreciate all that you guys do, and that is liking, commenting, and sharing all of our videos. And if you haven't already, be sure to do all those things: like, comment, share, and subscribe. So, you know, you want to see a truck get launched off a cliff, you want to win a truck, then all you got to do is that. So if you want to just get a truck now, you want to purchase that 4S Outcast or purchase that SCX6, go on our website, nankinhobby.com. Check it out, Nankin Hobby. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. You know what? We'll end it there.